Hello and welcome to another episode of Community Update. I am your host, Promise Okoy. Seyi Ajetomobi is a seasoned real estate consultant with over 20 years experience in Nigeria before immigrating to Canada in Nova Scotia 2018. In January of 2019, he became a licensed realtor in Nova Scotia and joined the Royal LePage Atlantic, where he won several awards under his belt. Ajetomobi has helped many people in the African community achieve their goal of owning a home in Nova Scotia and other parts of Canada. Seyi Ajetomobi joins us now from Halifax. Hi, Seyi.
I'm very good. Thank you, Promise. How are you doing?
I'm doing great and it's good to see you. So, Seyi, the housing crisis is not getting any better here in Nova Scotia for both old and new homeowners. As a leading realtor in the community, what would you say regarding this situation?
What I would say about the scarcity of home in Nova Scotia and even other parts of Canada is actually based on the number of people that are buying home at this time. That means we have to talk about population. There's increase in population, and I would say Canada is not prepared for the kind of population they have at the moment in terms of housing. So you have a lot of demand compared to the supply of homes that is available on the market. And of course, anywhere you have shortage of homes, in any part of the world, there's always a spike in prices. Because if you have little supply and there's so much demand, then the prices will keep going up. So that's what we are experiencing right now in Halifax.
So clearly this is not in the hands of the common man, but in the hands of government. Are there any intervention plans in place by the government and of course the key stakeholders to alleviate some of the problems that we are seeing today?
I think governments are trying to look into what they can do and how far they can arrest the situation, because I think that the only thing that they might need to do is to increase the number of new construction coming on the market. And the only way they can do that is to open up more new subdivisions. Let it be easy for the builders to have access to landed property, to have access to law to build. So if they have access to law, for instance, if you have, let's say we have like 15 builders in Halifax, and the government is giving each of them maybe like 2 acres or 3 acres of lot to develop. So we have more new subdivisions that will open up. So if you have more new subdivision that is opening up and more new construction coming in, then there won't be pressure on resale. What I call resale is existing property. So that if there's no pressure on existing property, and you have new construction, a lot of new construction coming on the market, then it will regulate the price. Until that is done, this situation will continue, because I don't think Canada will suddenly stop immigration process. So the problem will continue.
Definitely, that is our fears now. So, for example, if someone is looking to get a property here in Nova Scotia, say the HRM or the environs, what are the steps? What are the processes this person must bear in mind while going in for a property?
Okay. The first step is for the person to be pre-approved for mortgage. You want to be sure that you are even eligible to get a mortgage. Now, when you're pre-approved, I always tell people that with this market, you need to have it at the back of your mind that you will not be thinking about the best home that you want. It's this part of the world, we're not talking about, I want my dream home. You need to know that what you are pre-approved for or what your budget is able to buy whatever is available to you. It's not about what you think you can get. So if you're pre-approved, for instance, I will give you an instance. If you're pre-approved for, let's say, 500,000 with the market we are in right now that is really hot and crazy. If you are pre-approved for 500,000 and you're looking at buying a home, maybe a 3-bedroom house, Some will say they want a detached house. That is a house that is standing on its own. You want a three-bedroom detached house, all the rooms on the upper floor. You have the master bedroom en suite. You have the two other rooms that have a common bathroom. On the main floor, you have a powder room or a guest toilet. And you want to have a basement that has a red room and maybe a bedroom and a full bathroom, because you're looking at, maybe you're renting your basement to augment your bill by your mortgage payment. So if you have a budget of 500,000, you might not be able to get that kind of home with this market, because of course you have a lot of listings that are listed within that price range. But by the time the competition war set in, you might not be able to achieve it with 500,000. So what I would advise people is, with your budget, if you are able to get a home, maybe a home that has just two full baths, maybe a bath on the upper floor and maybe a bathroom in the basement, you can buy it for now so that you know you are a homeowner. You just give yourself a target of a year or 1.5 years, then you can sell that home and you'll be able to buy a better home or the kind of home you really want. So that's my take on that.
Right, that's a good advice there. So a lot of people describe the current situation as the seller's market situation. So a lot of people also are taking advantage of the current situation and they're selling up properties, some for profit purposes, for benefits, and some for investment. And there definitely has to be some sort of pros and cons, that goes with it. So what would be those concerns that you want to outlay so that people will be aware of?
Okay, now when you're experiencing the seller's market, now there are some points that you need to keep in mind when you're buying a home. Now, when you're buying a home, there are some conditions that you need to meet as a buyer. Yeah, that's what we call buyer's condition. You want to buy a home, you're looking at, maybe you're going to do a home inspection, you're looking at your financing, you're looking at insurance and all of that. With this market, for you to be able to win a bid when you put in an offer for a home, you might need to look away from some of these conditions so that your offer will be strong. For instance, you might want to look away from doing an home inspection, which might not be too good for the buyer. But that is where we find ourselves with this market. Then you want to look away from home inspection. Your financing cost might not be there because you are sure that, you've done your pre-approval, and with your pre-approval, it is sure that you're going to get financing. Then you want to take out the financing clause, the insurance clause is not there, and you're looking at your condition date, maybe you're leaving it for like a day or two, so that your offer can be strong. And when you have strong offers without all these conditions, you stand a better chance for you to win the bid. Of course, with a higher price being offered. That there's no rocket science about what you're going to offer for any home. Of course, you just have to put your best foot forward in this market. You don't just have to think, some people will say if I overbid. There's nothing like overbidding when you're experiencing seller's market. You can only underbid, because when you overbid, if in your own mind, if you overbid and you are able to win the bid and you're able to have an accepted offer, then it's good for you. But if you are not winning the bid or you are not getting an accepted offer, that means you are underbidded. Then you will not get the home.
Right. So the concern would be, for how long are we going to hold on? What is the future of the housing here in Nova Scotia?
What I can say is, the way we're looking at it, it's going to continue like this at least for another 1 year or two, until, even if the government comes with that program, which I will call a joint venture with builders, and they have to build homes, different categories of homes, with different kinds of finishing. Before that can go around in this society or community, it will take a bit of time. And of course, it will still, the prices will still keep going up. So it is going to take a bit of time for it to cushion down. But what I can say is this: with the way housing is going in Halifax, or even I would say in Canada generally, some set of people will not be able to afford to buy a home, because if you have a low pre-approval, maybe people that are within the pre-approval of $350,000-$400,000, and if you are not careful, you might not be able to buy a home, especially when you are looking at the kind of home that, oh, maybe my friend bought this kind of home and that's the kind of home I want to buy. And you're looking at it, oh, this is the kind of location I'm looking at. Some people would criticize that, oh, like in our home society, some people will say, I don't like Springfield, I prefer Bedford. Some will say, I prefer Rockingham. If you start thinking that way, oh, you might not be able to buy a home in this situation.
So much fear out there. But before I let you go, Seyi, you're a very busy person, and our viewers want to know, what advice do you have for them finally before we let you go?
Yes, my advice to buyers out there, because I will center this around buyers because it's seller's market, is do your pre-approval. And like I said earlier, make sure you're not thinking about the best home to buy. If you start thinking about the best home to buy, you might be missing out. Don't put your mind at it that it must be a detached house. Some people will say, I don't want a townhouse, I don't want a semi-detached, I want a detached house. That is not, we are not in that era now. You don't have to think that it must be this kind of house. This is the kind of feature I want in my home. You might not be able to achieve that with this kind of market, with the market we are in right now. Because I can tell you, in the market space right now, I've written offers in the past 2 weeks where you are competing with other 50 buyers for a home. If you have to compete with 50 buyers, how much can you compete? How much can you compete? Now you are competing with people that might have even a better and bigger pre-approval than you. If you're looking at a situation where someone has a pre-approval of 700,000 and you have a pre-approval of 450,000, a home is listed for 350. With your 450, you think, okay, I want to offer 450. The other guy that has 700 is ready to offer 550. Then you cannot even compete with him. So you want to look at it that you're not looking at everything you want in a house. You're not comparing yourself to the other man that bought his home maybe in 2019, that he bought his home for 250,000. Because that kind of home that was bought for 250,000 in 2019, you cannot get it. You might be looking at 600,000 to buy that kind of home at this moment. So you don't want to start comparing yourself to that kind of person. You have to be real. You have to be real with the markets. And secondly, I will advise our people. I'm talking about the African community right now. I will advise our people that it is buying home here is not like where we are coming from in Africa. It's not like you're buying a home to keep for your kids, or you say, oh, my home is going to inherit this home. No, you can, in your lifetime here in Canada, you can buy as much as 10 homes in your lifetime. You can buy and resell and buy another one. So you don't need to keep in mind that, oh, this home must be the best and perfect home I need to buy. No, just buy what you are able to buy now. Make sure you're living with this market. Make sure you're living a gap of about 100 to about 150,000 that you above what the home is listed for, so that you can compare very well in the marketplace. There are a lot of community right now that are doing very well with this competition. Look at the Indian community, because they come together. We call them, they do majak buying. They come together. You can see families coming together. I don't know how they live together anyway. If you have two people that are pre-approved for maybe 500 or 600,000 each, and they are coming together to form a bond to be a single buyer, then their strength to buy, their ability to buy increases. Then they might be able to buy at the range of $1 million. Compared to someone that has just a pre-approval of 450 or 500,000. You and your wife, maybe what you have is just 450,000. How do you want to compare with that kind of person?
Clearly, that's a smart way for people on the other side. Well, Seyi, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me, Promise. Thank you.
Yes, so that was Seyi joining us from Halifax. He's a realtor, a prominent one within this area. And please don't forget to join us next time for Community Update. And don't forget to also subscribe to our channel for more community update. I am Promise Okoy, and I'll see you soon.